Hello my dear students, welcome to ICS Mahesh PU College, Dharwad. In this session we are learning very important topic of electrochemistry, Faraday's law of electrolysis. Here we are learning first and second Faraday laws and the problems based on Faraday's laws. This is extremely important if we consider for boards. We can expect a 2 marks question from Faraday's law of electrolysis. Without any delay, let us go for the topic, and here I am Jairaj Hegde. Let us get into it. First we should have to understand what is actually the electrolysis is. So in the term itself we know electro stands for the something which is related to current and lysis stands for breaking. Here actually what we are doing, we are breaking a chemical compound by taking the help of electricity. So it's a chemical decomposition produced by passing electric current through liquid or a solution containing ions. The ions is required for the conduction of electricity. Either we should have to have a liquid or a molten state of ionic solids or a solution containing electrolytes. So actually what happens during electrolysis, the three situations may arise. Either it may undergoes decomposition or it may liberate the gas. It can liberate a gas during electrodes at the place of electrodes, or if we have taken metal ions, that metal ion may deposit on the electrode. These could be the situations we can come across during electrolysis. So let us take an example. If I want to reduce Ag plus at cathode, as I have told in the earlier session, always the reduction takes place at cathode and the oxidation takes place at anode. Here Ag plus can be reduced by accepting one electron. So this reaction will take place at the cathode. Here one electron will be taken by Ag plus to form metal. Here metal gets deposited. For one atom of Ag plus, one ion of Ag plus, one electron is required to form one silver atom. What if I have taken 1 mole? So I need 1 mole of electron. We already know that in the ratio of 1:1:1. We already know the charge of electron is minus 1.602 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb, or if we neglect the sign, it would be 1.602 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. What if I have taken 1 mole? See, if I have taken 1 ion of silver, I need 1 electron. If that means 1.602 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb of electricity is required to reduce 1 ion of silver. What if I have taken 1 mole? So if I have taken 1 mole, I need 1 mole of electron. So that's why charge of 1 mole of electron would be 1.602 into 10 power minus 19 into Avogadro number. Right? 6.022 into 10 power 23 into 1.602 into 10 power minus 19. So it would come to exactly 96,487 or almost 96,500. So the charge of, it is very important, the charge of 1 mole of electron is 96,500 coulomb. This 96,500 coulomb of charge, we call it as 1 farad of charge. What is 1 farad or 1 Faraday? 1 Faraday is nothing but 96,500 coulomb. Both are the units for the calculation of charges. 96,500 coulomb or 1 farad will lead to the charge of 1 mole of electrons. So it is very important, try to understand the charge of 1 mole of electron will be 1 farad. Here comes a shortcut. If it is 1 mole, 1 farad, 2 moles, 2 farad, 3 moles, 3 farad. As we can know, 1 farad will be 96,500 coulomb, 2 farad will be 2 into 96,500 coulomb, 3 farad will be 3 into 96,500 coulomb and so on. So this is a shortcut for understanding the relationship between number of moles of electrons and its charges. So total charge required for the reduction of 1 mole of silver would be 1 farad. Let us go for another example, the reduction of copper 2 plus ion at cathode. So here also I am reducing copper 2 plus. Here the ratio is not 1:1:1. Here ratio is 1:2:1. So that's why 1 mole of copper 2 plus I need 2 mole of electron. So for 1 copper 2 plus I need 2 electron. For 1 mole I need 2 moles. As I have already told, if it is 2 moles, how much electron is required? How much charge is required? So for 1 mole, 1 farad. For 2 mole, 2 farad of electricity is required. So let us have another example for reduction of Al3 plus. So Al3 plus plus 3 electron to give Al. So they are in the ratio of 1:3:1. I need to reduce 1 mole of aluminium. I require 3 moles of electron. So that's why how much of electricity is required? The amount of charge required will be 3 farad. The shortcut I have just now told. For 1 mole 1 farad, 2 mole 2 farad, 3 mole 3 farad. So the total charge required for the reduction of 1 mole of Al3 plus would be 3 farad. Now let us go for very important concept of Faraday's first law of electrolysis. Remember, either Faraday's first law or Faraday's second law will be asked for exam, second Karnataka board exams. So please go through it. See, let us go for the statement. The amount of chemical reaction taking place at an electrode during the electrolysis by current is directly proportional to the quantity of electricity passed through the solution of electrolyte or molten electrolyte. If we want to simplify it, the amount of chemical reaction, it means the amount of a gas liberated or the amount of metal deposited. Either it should have to liberate as gas or it should have to deposit as metal. So if I have taken a molten electrolyte or a solution containing electrolyte, the amount of metal is deposited or the amount of gas which is liberated will be directly proportional to the quantity of electricity is passed. Its meaning is very simple. I have taken some amount of substance. If I increase the current passed through the solution, the decomposition of that substance will be more. Higher the current passed, higher will be the decomposition of that substance. So I can relate through a simple formula. If W is the weight of the substance I have taken for decomposition and Q is the amount of electricity I have passed, W will be directly proportional to Q, where Q is the charge and W is the weight of the compound I have taken. W is the mass of the substance and Q is the amount of electricity. As we already know from physics, Q is equal to IT. The amount of charge will be equal to the current passed through the time. It's a product of current and time. So that's why where I is the current in ampere and T is the time in seconds. So I can calculate W is equal to ZIT, where Z is a constant where we have used. It is called electrochemical equivalent. We can understand it, what is electrochemical equivalent, how to calculate it bit later. So this is a very important formula we should have to understand. The weight of the compound deposited or liberated will be equal to Z, electrochemical equivalent, into current in ampere and time in seconds. The usually student makes mistakes here. Therefore, W is equal to ZIT. Here Z is calculated in a simple way. Z stands for the molecular weight or the atomic weight of the metal divided by the number of electron changing into 96,500. So I can write it as molecular weight M divided by N into F. Let us understand the Faraday's second law. It is also quite important. The statement goes like this: the amount of different substances liberated by same quantity of electricity is passed through the electrolytic solution are proportional to their chemical equivalent weights. Let us see it again. The amount of different substance liberated. Let us have taken two electrodes, electrode A and electrode B. Both are cathodes. If I have supplied same amount of electricity, the product obtained or the metal deposited would be in their equivalent masses or equivalent weight. See, let us try to see its mathematical representation. Mass of A is deposited is directly proportional to equivalent mass of A. What is actually the equivalent mass? We will see equivalent mass is nothing but the molecular mass divided by valency. If I am considering for metals, it is as simple as this. Equivalent mass will be molecular mass by valency. Let us say I have taken aluminium. The equivalent mass of aluminium is atomic weight, it is 27 divided by 3. So equivalent mass of aluminium is 9. Equivalent mass of sodium is 23 and its valency is 1. So 23 by 1 is 23 gram per equivalent. And equivalent weight of calcium would be, the atomic weight of calcium is 40. 40 divided by 2 because calcium 2 plus. It's the valency of calcium is 2. So that's why equivalent weight will be equal to molecular weight or the atomic weight by its valency. So mass of A is equivalent weight of A. If I have taken mass of B is directly proportional to equivalent mass of B. Therefore, if I divide these two equations, equation 1 by 2, the mass of A by mass of B will be equal to equivalent mass of A divided by equivalent mass of B. Let us try to go for some problems regarding the Faraday's laws. The solution of NiNO3 twice nickel nitrate is electrolyzed between platinum electrode, which is an inert electrode, using a current of 5 amps for 20 minutes. What is the mass of nickel is deposited at cathode? It can be done in two ways. Let us go for some bookish way. That is what the information is given. T is 20 minutes is given. So 20 minutes also we should have to always take time in seconds. So 20 into 60 will be the time, and the I is given. The current would be 5 ampere, and the mass which is deposited is not given, but atomic mass of nickel is given. It is 59 gram per mole. That's why, as we know, Q is equal to IT. So the Q will be equal to 5, that is ampere, 5 into 20 into 60, which is equal to 6000 coulomb. Now we can solve it in two ways. Directly I can use the formula W is equal to ZIT, where Z will be equal to the atomic weight 59 divided by its valency is 2. 59 divided by 2 into 96,500 into 6000. I can directly take in that way. or I can do in different method also. Here 2 electrons are consuming during the electrolysis. 2 farad of electricity is required, charge is required for the deposition of 1 mole. So for 2 farad, that is 96,500 into 2 gives 59 gram or 1 mole. What if the 6,000 coulomb gives? If I cross multiply, I'll get 6,000 into 59 divided by 96,500 into 2. The answer is 1.834 gram. Or else I can also do with the formula method. This is a logical method. I can also do in a formula method. It is very simple. Q is equal to ZIT. Z will be equal to the molecular atomic mass of nickel. It is 59 divided by 2. 2 is the number of electron change, and F will be 96,500. It comes the same way. This is also in the same way. 59 divided by 96,500 into 2. This is the value of Z, and this will be the product of I into T. It comes to same 1.834 gram. Let's have another problem. How much electricity in terms of farad is required for following reduction? 1 mole of Al3 plus to Al, 1 mole of Cu2 plus to Cu, 1 mole of MnO4 minus to Mn2 plus. See, we have made a 2-tab, the reduction reaction and the charge required for the reduction. See, first one we have already discussed, Al3 plus to Al. If you want to convert Al3 plus to Al, you require 3 electron for 1, and for 1 mole of Al3 plus, we require 3 moles of Al3 plus. If it is 3 mole, the answer is, I have already told the shortcut, 3 farad. For 3 moles, 3 farads. For 2 mole, 2 farad. Cu2 plus to Cu stands for, we require 2 moles of electron. So for 1 mole of copper 2 plus, 2 moles of electron. So that's why the answer is 2 farad. This is pretty difficult for the conversion of 1 mole of MnO4 minus permanganate ion to Mn2 plus. Here we should have to calculate the oxidation state of manganese. The oxidation state of manganese is +7, and here it is coming to +2. How it is +7? Oxygen is -2. -2 into 4 is -8. -8 x plus -8, or x minus 8 will be equal to -1. That's why x is equal to +7. So the oxidation state of Mn is +7 and the oxidation state of Mn is +2. So from +7 to +2 you require 5 electrons. So 5 electron is occurring during the chain. That's why 5 farad of electricity is required, or 5 farad of charge is required for reduction. I hope these points are understood to you, and thank you for watching. Thank you for support. Please like, share and subscribe.